Indian national security, Indian military autonomy has to always be kept above everything else. And that's why there's this systemic reluctance to rush into any real agreements with the United States. But Saurabh, stay with us. Let's also show our viewers how the Indian military establishment always remembers with a shudder the American sanctions that were imposed after the 1998 nuclear tests in Pokhran. Several Indian military programs at that time were simply paralyzed. Others had to be shelved indefinitely. But that was the past. But things have changed, or have they really? Those who bemoan India's increasing propensity towards the United States point to several of these instances of America's penchant for restrictive behavior. Take a look. The American weapons pitch to India can only be described as a hurricane. And yet, there are deep-seated worries. Worries that hark back to past instances of Uncle Sam playing truant and throwing spanners into the works of Indian defense planning. In 1998, the Indian Navy's Sea King helicopters were impounded in the UK after the United States said the helicopters had American parts.
So unless you have a strategic convergence on issues of security interest to us, what is the point of buying equipment?
The indigenously built naval warship INS Shivalik suffered an embarrassing hiccup just last year when the US inexplicably refused permission to activate 2 American gas turbines that had been supplied to power the vessel. In 1998, the Indian light combat aircraft program was dealt a severe blow when the indigenous flight control system, which was sent to the United States for validation, was impounded. The project is still delayed as a consequence. Most ominously of all, if sources are to be believed, the Indian Army is currently being given the runaround by the US government, all for the replacement of certain parts of critical AN TPQ-37 weapon locating radars contracted from the US in 2002. The US hopes to supply India $50 billion worth of equipment this decade. Has America changed in any way that matters to India? Can the past really be forgotten? In New Delhi, Shiv Arun headlines today.